r/ask Reddit. What should everyone try at least once in their life? Serious. Exploring different places around your neighborhood on your own. You never realize what you can find until you try. Then bring someone along with you next time and show them. I did this once as a teen. Just took my dog out for a walk to a part of the neighborhood I didn't usually go to. We found a little path behind the last street, which led to a cute creek, which led to an idyllic bend where there was a beautiful huge cottonwood tree and the grass so soft all around it. Ended up taking the dog there for picnics every weekend. Whoa, what a spectacular find. Sounds like the prerequisites include a nicer neighborhood. Trying that around here you'll get mugged. That is true. Not all neighborhoods are safe to wander alone. Look someone dead in the eyes and say exactly what you think about them. See how it turns out. My wife and I were visiting a friend. He's a great guy, but he had this long, bad comb over. He walked down to the road for the mail, and we were discussing the comb over with his brother. As he walked up, I looked at him and said, "Dude, I have to say something. You're bald. Your comb over isn't fooling anyone. You should just cut that thing off and be a decent looking bald guy, because the comb over isn't working." The next time we saw him it was gone. His long beard was cut shorter, and he was losing weight. It was true. He did look a lot better. Kinda an umbrella, but learn a post-apocalypse skill. That's what I call them in my head. Mine was blacksmithing. I took a blacksmithing course over the summer and learned a staggering amount about what it takes to take raw materials and turn them into useful tools. I have a background in geology, and metallurgy has always interested me, so it made sense. Seriously, find something low or no tech that makes you feel accomplished. Woodworking, smithing, animal husbandry, archery, soap making, beekeeping, hell, grow some corn. Something to remind you where we've been as a species. I absolutely love this one. I was a Boy Scout for 8 years and part of what I loved about it so much was the diverse amount of skills I was able to learn. One thing I would still love to learn is blacksmithing. It sounds so fun. Learn a foreign language. It improves the way you think in your own native language and makes you a more dynamic person. I'm a linguistic pattern analyst, certified fluent in 5, and I can say this is legitimately some of the best advice. You'll learn so much about a culture from their colloquial dialects and national languages. In prison I knew a white supremacist, big skinhead guy named Kenny. For fun I taught him Spanish. A little each day. We did that every day for about a year together, and by the end of it he could converse with the Mexican nationals and he began to empathize with them. It caused him to see things differently, to recognize them as human beings, just through being able to actually communicate with them. It's surprising how much people have to say once they truly can communicate. Language is such a beautiful thing, rife with its own rich history, culture and flair. I don't know who I would be if I had never found my love for language. You were in prison? I was. For 3 years. Traveling to another country, it's really great to experience a different culture. And staying at a resort in Cancun is not experiencing another culture. Didn't Sandals have an advert for Jamaica that actually said something like you won't even know you're in Jamaica? Like, what the hell's the point in going then? The point of those resorts is more that you can experience a level of luxury that would be prohibitively expensive in the US. A beachside resort in Florida or something will be hundreds of dollars a night and charge a fortune for drinks and food. But a week at an all-inclusive resort on Cancun or Playa is like $1,000 and comes with all the free booze you can drink and several free meals a day. Some of them are really nice too, especially if you up your budgets to like $1,300-ish. And when I say $1,000 I mean like literally $1,000. You can book through a travel agency and it will include flights and rides from to the airport. All you have to do is get yourself to the local airport for departure, and after that you don't have to spend another cent the whole trip. Doing something kind for a stranger, they may remember it for a lifetime. I think that's an important thing. But I think the most important thing is you can keep that memory to yourself and you can remember for a lifetime. Stargazing really makes you realize how insignificant you are in the larger scheme of things. Hard to stargaze when there's so much light pollution that you can't see the stars. Go hiking, trekking with your friends. Special reason why with friends. I live in the Netherlands where trekking options are minimal, or at least quite boring to me, but I like to do some hiking when on vacation, usually with my wife, but did the W track in Patagonia once with friends, which was great. Hiking with closely bonded friends is a truly wonderful experience. Spending extended time with people fundamentally different from you. Does school count for that one? Only if you make an effort to actually get to know your classmates. Being in the same room isn't enough. Write a short story that one actually wants to write, especially if it turns out bad. In my experience, experiences in school dissuade people from writing for themselves. Everyone can write something cool and interesting, and failing a lot is part of the process at becoming better. This applies to anything creative, including engineering. LOL, I have an entire library of short stories. I've noticed improvement over time. Granted, a ton of them are shelved incomplete. Just spend a few days completely out from the world. Politics? Don't know, care. Social issues? Don't know, care. Finances, health, friendships, enemies, items, etc. In today's world, I fear sometimes the amount of information some of us take in might be a little too much in the long run. It's strangely nice to pretend like nothing exists outside of go to work, have a snack, chill, sleep. Important note, only for a few days, however. What happens if you do this too long? Asking for a friend. Maybe nothing. Maybe you fall too deep in your own ideas and take them as the ultimate truth. Learn a musical instrument. Not only is it a useful way to spend your free time, but with a little time and effort, you can easily get good enough to play your favorite songs and create your own tunes as well. I've been playing guitar for 11 years now, and I also picked up the bass about 5 years ago, and it's one of the best feelings in the world when you are able to entertain other people through music. Any instrument will be difficult at first to learn, but by remaining patient, you can easily get to the point where playing an instrument becomes almost a therapeutic experience, and you don't have to bust the bank and purchase the most expensive models just to sound good. A good player can make even a worn out, broken instrument sound like heaven. And a bad player can make a new expensive instrument sound bad. Absolutely agree. Play an instrument because you enjoy playing it, not to try and impress other people. You're not gonna get anywhere near as good. Complimenting yourself. So many of us are so focused on the things we deem negative about ourselves, when everyone has something good about them. I've always found it interesting that treat others how you'd want to be treated is generally accepted practice, but treat yourself how you'd want to be treated is completely foreign to a lot of people. Do something you normally wouldn't do, like a hobby you normally wouldn't consider doing. Even if it might not be for you, you at least have some knowledge of it. This so much. I took up theater classes because I accompanied a friend to the free lesson and I liked what the teacher said. Never thought I'd ever do it. I'm quite shy and averse to being under the spotlight. I ended up living a very powerful and profound experience and making some long-lasting friendships. Drawing and painting. Don't just give up when you realize it's not perfect on your first try. Artistic skill takes time and practice. It also takes an attentive eye. You can teach yourself these skills. Follow YouTube tutorials and books. Follow Bob Ross while he paints. Be patient with yourself and try your best. Art really is a gift. The ability to communicate ideas to people by drawing them is really helpful in a lot of ways, and it really boosts your confidence knowing you're not total crap at it, lol. It also changes how you perceive the world around you. You start appreciating the little beautiful things more. Give it a go. You'll suck at first, but it'll be worth it. I draw from time to time. Not enough to actually get better, but just enough to not forget that I'd like to. Once I made the experiment of drawing with the wrong hand. The result was quite unexpected. I actually remember different things while drawing like that. My drawings were more influenced by the general position and impression left on me by the subject, whereas with my right hand I tend to concentrate more on details and less on the whole picture. I found out I have an analytic and a synthetic hand. I highly recommend it. Working retail. It will affect how you treat people for the rest of your life. Working retail destroyed my view of people. Retail brings out the true form of others. It's crazy how much people annoy me now. I agree. I have never trusted people since. I also treat others very well. Now, I don't think I was a jerk before, but I will never treat people as I was treated. Working retail truly helps improve you as a character. You realize how people act around you and how people treat you, and you think, I can be better than that. Volunteer at a soup kitchen. Most of those transients you see on the street are actually very nice, normal people who just had a bad break. Plant a tree. It's actually on my bucket list. I would like to be in the grocery store when the person in front of me is struggling to pay for their food, and I would like to have enough money to just anonymously pay for their groceries and not have them know who I am, but to just ease a little pain in this world, allowing them to go home that evening with a full carload of groceries for their family without having to worry about the money. I've always wanted to do that, but I don't ever have the resources. How would you do it anonymously? If you're behind them in line, they'd know it's you paying. Still working on that part. Skydiving. Once you get over the fear and anxiety of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, it's an amazing feeling. And on a totally different note, complimenting a stranger. A very similar experience. Scuba diving. You will be in a totally different world. I don't recommend the commercial scuba diving at touristy places which take you inside water for 10 minutes to see just the colorful fishes. If you want to get the real experience, learn properly for a week or two. Have the dive for minimum half an hour. Taking a road trip with your friends. It's such a great bonding experience being trapped in a little metal box with a group of friends for hours at a time traveling to a destination. You'll drive each other crazy. You'll make each other laugh. It truly is a wonderful experience. A walk in the rain without an umbrella. Just for fun. My rule of thumb is to use an umbrella if I am walking to somewhere such as work or another destination if it's raining. If it is raining and I am walking home, I will not use the umbrella, even if I am carrying it. It is soothing to walk in the rain without a care. Obviously this is also dependent on what I'm wearing carrying at the moment, but if I have nothing that can be damaged in the rain, that's my usual rule of thumb. Having a pet. They make your life so much better. You can talk to somebody for hours without fear of them telling others or judging you. Plus they will be there for you when your day has been bad. Bonus if the pet is a rescue. There is something about rescue animals that make the bond deeper even though you have not known them for long. I don't know of anybody that has had pets but no longer has any pets unless it's a medical reason. Unpopular opinion. Pets aren't for everyone. Mushrooms. Assuming the person has no family history of schizophrenia and feels mentally sound. Absolutely. Everyone should try to see the world from the perspective of somebody less fortunate than them, or somebody with a completely different philosophy at least once. True, they should probably do so more than once in their lives, but one is better than none. I would say to conquer a major fear in your life. I grew up with major social anxiety, and because of that, I was horrible at talking to people, which cycled back into said anxiety. It sucked, to say the least, to feel horribly alone and disconnected, yet being terrified of putting myself out to anyone but the closest of close friends. Then, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I founded my high school's robotics team. As nerdy as that sounds, it truly made me break my social anxiety and even made me realize that I was an extrovert. I was pushed by so many supportive mentor figures and friends in my life to break out of my social turtle shell. Because I was one of the founders and the elected president, I was required to talk to parents, teachers, sponsors, and many other people. I ran booths at STEM fairs and talked to huge crowds of people and ended up on the local news several times. This shattered my social anxiety. After that much public speaking and personal interaction, I overcame that fear, and I grew so much because of it. Heck, I realized I was an extrovert, me, a shut and dorky nerdy loner for 10 years. So I would recommend facing a major source of fear in your life. You don't even need to fully conquer that fear. Just do something that your fear would otherwise prevent. Afraid of heights? Try a skywalk or skydiving at least once. Afraid of public speech? Try giving a public talk at least once. I'm not saying that every fear can be overcome. It's mentally exhausting to fight fear, and sometimes it's not a war you can win. My case involved 4 years of fighting to overcome that social anxiety, and I studied I learned it'll do have some anxiety. Overcoming a fear will not be as easy as doing something once, but if you can win just one battle, then you can celebrate that one victory. Being grateful at small things you have. Try this habit for a week. Be in control of a small plane. Self-defense classes. There are so many ducked up freaks running about that knowing how to apply a healthy dose of violence to an aggressor's face really is a must-have. Also, learn how to defend against a knife. It might literally save your life. Better to know and not need it than to need and not know it. Being in love. I wish I never experienced it. Now I'm just longing for it all the time. Psychedelics. Taking a day off for no reason. Don't plan some vacation or make any plans at all really. Don't use it to do errands. Don't use it for any purpose other than just relaxing. We work enough of our lives away. A day off every now and then without the hassle of making plans and sticking to them is a nice break. I took today off. I'm relaxing and watching Netflix right now and it's honestly refreshing. Dungeons and Dragons. Put away all the tech. Grab pencils, dice, paper and a few friends. Prepare for great conversation. Build Lego as an adult. It's incredibly liberating and you will learn so much about yourself. Having a breakup from a long-term relationship. It definitely shows who you really are to yourself. You learn a lot. Learn to let go. You'll grow up faster. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.